Hi, everyone. Hopefully, people are joining into our first live session here at Mom's Clean Air Force. I'm Heather McTeer Toney, and we're just going to give a few seconds for people to log in. Very excited about our first Facebook Live, and very, very happy and excited that I'm getting an opportunity to share with everyone. So I know this is new. We have some people that are going to be logging on today throughout the day. And again, let me just introduce myself. I am Heather McTeer Toney. I am the new National Field Director for Moms Clean Air Force, and welcome. Welcome to our first Facebook Live. So happy to have an opportunity to do this. This is really, really exciting and wonderful that technology is allowing us to connect with all of you in the world that and talk about environmental health and children's health. So just giving a few moments here for people to get situated and get logged on. Hopefully we'll get some really good feedback from today and get a chance to do this quite often. We know that with technology now, we can talk to our members all over the country, all over the world. So really thrilled to use Facebook Live and engage with you, our audience out there. So thanks. I see some very familiar names that are joining us. Hi, Desiree. Thanks for checking into our page and our day to day. Molly, I hope things are going well up your way. Sean, always a pleasure. Hi, Brenda. Thanks so much for joining us. Christine, good to see your little person in the picture with you. I hope you're doing very well. And all of you that are joining, shoot us a note. Say hi. I am Heather McTeer Toney. I am the new National Field Director for Moms Clean Air Force. And I just want to say welcome to everyone. We're going to take about 30 minutes today to talk about Moms Clean Air Force, what's going on, what's hot, what's new, what do you need to know, and then more importantly, how you can be active and can help protect our children, because that's what we're here and that's what it's about, protecting all the children from climate issues and from air pollution, and just making sure that we have a solid future for our community. So as you all keep joining, I'm going to keep talking. Please feel free to ask questions because this is going to be a very interactive session today. Uh, and we'll get a chance to chat and talk a bit more. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself and where I come from and where I come from in this work. I am originally from Greenville, Mississippi. That's right, I'm a Mississippi Delta born and raised native. And I served as the first African American mayor of Greenville, Mississippi. I'm a former mayor. After I served as mayor, I then served the Obama administration as regional administrator for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And after that, had the opportunity to come and do some work with Moms Clean Air Force. After working with the organization for a little over a year, uh, I had another opportunity to see if I could be the national field director, and I applied, and here I am. So very, very happy to be in this new position. I come from a background of local government and service. My mom is a retired teacher, and my dad is a retired civil rights lawyer. So the questions about social justice were always, always active in our house. And my brother and I were raised to always keep our community first and to understand that we should work together as a community. And so I'm so proud that I've been able to continue that with my own children and work with organizations like Moms Clean Air Force to really push issues that are important to us all. And one of the issues that's extremely important to me is environment and how our children are living in it and whether or not we're being good stewards and protecting this earth that we are here and all residents of. It's something that really drives me. And I've been fortunate to interweave it into all of my work. Growing up in Mississippi, and particularly in the Mississippi Delta, where the river runs right next to our community, you learn to have a really good, healthy respect for the environment because it impacts each and everything that we do in our lives. And so when I was coming up and even as mayor, there were no shortage of occasions where we took very, very close concern to what were environmental issues of our community. That's part of my background. But one of the things I think about it that I really remember most was the fact that we were dealing with a lot of natural disasters that just really seemed out of whack. It seemed like we were dealing with flood after flood, tornado after tornado, and just our emergency response was becoming uh, so active that it was off from what the old folks said used to be seasonal. And I really recognize that if we didn't have a good conversation about climate and really address issues that were impacting communities and all aspects of communities, then we were going to run into problems. And so that theme really carried through my work. And it carried through my work not just as mayor, but also as regional administrator. It really became obvious that people, elderly, children, men, women, everybody, were impacted by issues that were taking place in the environment, but more so children and the elderly. And so throughout the course of my career, I've been able to focus heavily on issues of environmental justice, of how the environment impacts what we're doing in our communities and the future of our communities. I served as the chairwoman for the Local Government Advisory Committee under Lisa Jackson with the EPA, and have just had the wonderful opportunity to work with governments across the country and across the world. So that is what has brought me to this work with Moms Clean Air Force and why I'm so excited about it. Now, I'll tell you a couple of other cool things that make this work really, really fun for me. Stuff I enjoy doing in my hobby time, if there is such a thing, right? I love to run, bike, and swim. I love triathlons. And if you know me, then if you know me personally, you know I spend a lot of time trying my best to be mediocre in three sports. But those three sports keep me outside a lot. Uh, that, and I also have children. I have a 2-year-old son, and I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I have a 23-year-old son. My 23-year-old, he's off now and he's out of the house, but I just have a beautiful blended family. And those two little ones, the 2-year-old and the 12-year-old, they like to be outside too. So we all really, really enjoy playing outside. And trust me, there is like no way to do a triathlon and not breathe. You are very appreciative of clean air when you are outside. And every time I'm out there, I think about the fact that I can be out here doing this, but there are kids that can't. There are kids all over this country, all over this world, that can't even enjoy their own outside because they can't breathe the air that's right in their own backyard. It's sad, but we can do something about it. And it's one of the things that drives me to passionately really work in this area. And Mom's Clean Air Force is no shortage of mothers that are committed and dedicated to this effort. So that gives you a little bit about my background, why I'm so passionate. And throughout these sessions, I'm sure you'll see pictures of me running, biking, and swimming. Which, again, that's what I love to do. Or pictures of my kids and pictures of kids from all of our members all over, because this, it's just a reminder of that's what this is about, and it's so exciting. So again, like I said, we have got 30 minutes together, and we're just going to talk. I'm going to share some hot topics, some things going on, and I want to hear from you. So I also want to stop and say hi to some folks. So Jim Goodsmith, thank you so much for joining us. Melissa from out west, hi, and Christina Denulli, thank you for joining us as well. Sarah, I see, is here with us. Molly, lots of good folks and friends from all over. Audrey Reese, hi, good to see you. So thanks. Please keep sending notes, questions. I'm going to try my best to go through them and answer them as we are really talking about issues that impact us. I want to start by telling you just a little bit about Mom's Clean Air Force. We are an organization of over 1 million moms, dads, aunts, grandmas, abuelitas, cousins, aunties, everybody, anyone who is concerned about protecting children's health. Come on, join us. Our organization boasts a membership of over 1 million across this country, and we are 1 million strong that really push to make sure our federal officials, our local officials, and our community are acting in one accord to protect children's health. One of our co-founders is Dominique Browning, and she has some wonderful sayings. I'm sure I'll have a lot of Dominique sayings throughout our sessions together. But one of the ones that I love is she says, tell Congress, listen to your mama. And that's really the truth, right? When we think about someone in our lives that really can tell us something we should do, it's our mothers. And the power of mothers to come together and talk about why acting on climate issues is so important to our children is powerful. The power behind Moms Clean Air Force and what organizations are doing, like Moms Clean Air Force, you got all types of mom organizations, but the power behind that is all in the premise that mothers are nurturing, we're caring, and that's unquestionable. That's not even something to be doubted. And so when we take that power of moms and we put it into action to protect our children and our children's health, I don't think you'll find a more energized group than mothers on a mission. And unfortunately, with the things that are taking place in our country today, our moms have a mission, and our moms have something that they are and should be doing. And we want to encourage that. We want to encourage our moms to be active on a state, a local, and a federal level. So let's take a few moments and let's talk about what's hot. What's going on right now, and what should cause mamas, cousins, play aunties to be active? What should you be doing? I don't know if you followed the news here lately, and while a lot of the news media has been really wrapped up in the Kavanaugh hearings, I always like to say, stay woke. I know that's a phrase we use often and can be overused, but there's so much that slides in while we're watching something else. And something really important slid in this week, and it was the current administration under President Trump. The EPA under the current administration sent over a request to roll back a rule that is extremely, extremely beneficial to protecting our babies. And they want to turn it around. And it's called the MATS rule. MATS, M-A-T-S, Mercury and Air Toxic Standard. This rule is something that both the Obama administration and industry leaders and NGOs like Moms Clean Air Force worked really, really hard to get in place. Because one of the things you should understand is that mercury is a toxin that is hands down proven to impact babies' brains. And I mean in babies while they are still in utero. So mercury is one of those poisons that by a mother breathing it, it actually can penetrate the placenta and it impacts the child's brain and really disrupts how the child's brain is developed. You want to know something that's a little bit scarier than that? These toxins, the primary place that they come from are coal-fired power plants. And get this, they are primarily located in frontline communities and communities of color. So the fact that we were able to, years ago, talk with EPA and get a rule in place that said, hey, coal companies, not a good idea to put mercury into the air that we all know is poisoning babies before they even make it to this world. Need to do something about that. And we did. A rule was established, and that rule was MATS. And that rule has ensured that almost every natural gas plant, coal plant across the country has put in some system that keeps the mercury out of the air and makes sure that that's not breathed by people walking around you in your neighborhood. And it certainly is not impacting your child before your child even makes it to this earth. Last week, the administration decided, you know what? We don't really need that rule. Yeah, that happened. So they have sent over, EPA has now sent over to OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, to say, uh, you know, reconsider that rule. We, and I mean we as in moms, anybody who is concerned about children, you should be livid. You should be beyond upset about this because they're actually talking about rolling back a rule and rolling back and saying that it's okay for the industries to police themselves in making sure that they are taking a poison out of the air that impacts children before they are even born. I've got kids, and I know a lot of you guys have kids as well. And while I know my children, I'm raising them right, I know that they follow my rules. Something tells me that if I leave cookies out on the table and I leave the room, that even though I say they shouldn't eat the cookies, my children are going to go in there and eat the cookies because it's just going to be too easy for them. This is too easy for industries to say, I know we shouldn't turn this back, but let's go ahead and save some money and do it. And as mothers, we're saying, no, we're not even going to give you that option. We're not even going to allow you to think about taking something and putting it into the air as harmful as mercury. We're not even going to believe that you can police yourselves because we're mamas and we understand that, while you have good intentions, and it's nice to have good intentions. Our children have good intentions to do right every single day. But our responsibility to our children and our responsibility as mothers is to safeguard their health. And to the extent that we can ensure that these rules stay in place to safeguard their health, we're going to do that. And that's our action. So you'll see lots of activities from moms all across the country last week, this week. If you follow us on social media, and I encourage you to do so, follow us on Twitter. We're at Clean Air Moms. Follow us on Facebook here. Follow us on Instagram. Over the next, I would say, couple of weeks, couple of months, as long as it takes, you will hear us repeatedly saying over and over and over again, hey, Matt, this is not an option. This is not something that we're even going to consider you taking back. This is directly impacting our communities. And again, as I was saying at the beginning of this conversation, Matt really, really impacts frontline and communities of color because these are communities where you find a lot of these plants located. So it is even more hurtful to children and pregnant women of color that are walking around breathing this air or who are in a vicinity where just by the flip of a switch, a company and organization can decide that they want to take and turn something around. And they don't have the ability to tell the company no. We want to be the voice for all of them. And I think that that is something that we want to make sure that we have a voice on. So as you can tell, I'm energized. I'm excited about making sure that we are connecting people all over the country, because even if you're not in a community that is directly impacted by a coal-fired power plant or a natural gas plant, you don't see one outside of your window, does not mean that it's not close to you. Doesn't mean that that's not something that can travel to you. It's in the air. It travels. So, I would highly, highly recommend that you read up on this information. Check into our comment section. We've got lots of information there about how to get involved, what you could do. And if there was one thing that I would ask you to do, one thing that you could do today about this, Call your senator or your congressperson. Call them and ask them, why is EPA changing a rule that protects babies before they're even born? Why? What's the purpose? And tell them it's okay, I'll wait. You can wait for an explanation. Make sure that you have them check in with you. Uh, Take that action because it means a lot. And it means a lot not just for your kids, it means a lot to my children and to children all over this country. I've been talking a lot, and I know there are comments that are going in here, and I apologize if I have not getting to them. As y'all can tell, I'm pretty hyped up about Mercury. Um, so I appreciate so much what your comments are. Jeff James, Jeff, how you doing? So thank you for tuning in. Jeff, you said this sounds like something that could impact my fishing. Is that correct? Probably so, because it can impact most people think of mercury with fish, which is a good thing to think about because for pregnant women, you have to be very careful about your mercury intake for this very reason. You want to make sure that you are not ingesting something that can inhibit your child's development. Um, at the same time, it does make you think about all the different ways that mercury can enter the body. And so while a lot of times we do focus on fish, um, also have to be focused on how it enters our body from the air. And mercury coming from air sources is one of the easiest, heaviest ways that we are ingesting it into our bodies. And one of the ways that, again, we were able to look at technology to help reduce it from the pollution source that we see it from the most, which is coal-fired um, plants. So thank you for that, Jeff. I appreciate that. Let's see. I have um, another question, and please forgive me if I am not pronouncing your name correctly, Miss Botino. He said, moms used to be extremely active locally, but in the past year or so, that's drastically changed, and I haven't seen any local action in my state, which is so needed. Is mom still going to move toward the direction, or will resources shift back to the local level? Excellent question. So, really, let me give you a quick answer to that. Look, we need your work and your effort in your home where you are right now. And I want you to, after this is over with, make sure that you go online to momscleanairforce.org, send us an email or a note, tell us where you are and that you're ready to get active and engaged. And yes, we're definitely working on things that you can do locally right there in your own home. And I've got two for you. One is Moms and Mayors. That's a program that we kicked off last year to get moms locally in their community, connecting them to their mayors and connecting to climate activities that are taking place right there in your own home. And so the Moms and Mayors program is a great way to look at local ways you can be involved with Moms Clean Air Force. There's a resource toolkit online, and we certainly want to connect with you, and hopefully you connect with your mayor to help us build out that volunteer base, because moms are powered by mom volunteers, and you are a critical part of that. The second one is our new program that launched this week, October 1st, called Eco Madres. It is a program that is a Latina-based program, and I love it because it is a partnership with Green Latinos, a wonderful organization that is working with the Latino community to bring awareness on green issues and environmental issues. So we have come together, and we have together now started Eco Madres. So this program is focused on the Latina family. And if you're looking at the words and the word play, I love how Gabby Riviera, hi Gabby, I know you're on here, has sort of played around with words. So eco and the environment, and madres is mothers, but the comadres is sort of like godmothers. And so it's very, very communal and very, very beautiful, just in the way that we're really all embracing our children. And so I would certainly want you to look at ways that is, you can integrate that locally into your work. And we absolutely support working on the ground in the local, state, and federal uh, realms. So, the really cool thing is that when you're working on climate issues, and what one of the things we do is we are always pushing the message of our moms locally up on a federal level. But, you know, you got that direct line too. So your congressperson, your state legislator, your governor, your mayor, they want to hear from you. And we want to help them hear from you. And whatever we can do to make sure that happens, to the extent that we can, please just shoot us a note and let us know. So thanks so much for that. Let's see. There are lots of comments, so I apologize if I don't get to all of them. But I do want to, say hi to Rick Macy. Thanks so much for joining us. And Debbie Gonzalez, thank you so much. Hi, Solera, for joining us in New Mexico. Lots of great folks that are joining us today for our Facebook Live. We want to know what things interest you. You are our membership. So please send us notes. Tell us what you want to talk about. We're going to do our Facebook Live on a regular basis to really sort of answer questions, talk about issues, tell you about stuff that's coming up that we are really engaged in, where you can find us and see us. We have a very, very active group of team members that are on the ground all over the country. And so if you're in a state with a Moms Clean Air Force consultant, we want you to connect in, engage with them, and say, hi, I'm Heather, I'm ready to work. And even if you're in a state that does not have a consultant, it's okay, because we have something for you to do too. And we want to hear from you as well. So please let us know what you want to hear about on these calls, on these Facebook Live videos. We're going to be doing these right now. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm doing at least once a month. So the next one will be in November. It may be before that. We'll see. But let us know. Send us a couple of notes. Let us know what you're interested in. What about air is concerning you? Tell us what you understand and what you don't understand. And we are going to do our best. I'm going to do my best to try to explain it to you. This is the environment that we can do it in. We are also going to try to bring you some tips and maybe some other speakers that can shed some light on some issues. And as things are coming up in this administration that we're attacking, you're going to hear it from us in person here first. So Sasha, thanks Sasha for being on. And Sasha has a great question. She says, we talk about armchair activism. Are there actions our members can really take just from the comfort of their chairs? Well, I hope you can see I am in the comfort of my chair. And you absolutely have things that you can do right there from your own chair. And, if you are a grandma who is in love with your grandbabies and you want to do something at home, maybe right from the comfort of your chair. If you're like my mother, who is retired, and she may have dialed in, I don't know, but my mother is always thinking about something that she can do for her grandbabies. You can get involved with us online, and that's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to make sure that you are a member of Moms Clean Air Force, and that is very simple. You go to momscleanairforce.org. You just sign in for our email alerts. You're with us. And you'll get action items and things that you can do on a regular basis. You can also make sure that when you go online and you look at our website, we have blogs that you can read. We have petitions that often we need help in signing on to. I'll give you a great example. We just had some moms and families that were testifying at Clean Cars hearing and at the hearing in Chicago to change the Clean Power Plan, which we, again, are against because this administration is trying to roll back things that we work so hard to put in place that are protecting our children. We want you to be involved with us on that, and we want to make sure that we're communicating with you and you're getting the latest and solid, good information, not fake news, real facts of what's happening and what's taking place. So, and tune in here. Stay with us on social media. Tune in with us and check for our alerts, and keep us posted as to what's going on in your area. Last reminder, because guess what? We're at the end of our 30 minutes. It went by so fast. But I have one more reminder for you and one more ask for you before we sign off. Make sure that on November 6th, you go out to vote. Make sure that you take somebody with you to vote because these issues that we are so concerned about are determined by the people that we have in office. I've served in elected office for 2 terms, and then I've served in an administrative capacity as an appointee. And I can tell you there's no greater power than the power to vote. Please exercise that power. Your children can't vote, but you can vote for them. And I know that you're going to vote in their best interest. So November 6th, and I'm sure you'll see me before then, make sure that you vote. Put it on your calendar, mark it down, do what you need to do, get to the polls, and get other people to the polls. Thanks so much for joining us. This Facebook Live will be recorded. It is being recorded and it will be hopefully on our site. And so I hope that you're able to tune in, send other people to it. Make sure you follow us here on Facebook and on Twitter. And I'll see you next time. So great that you joined us and so happy to be here as your new National Field Director. Bye-bye.